Hello and welcome to week 7 of the Rad Avenger League. The halfway point, I guess, of the regular season. After this week, that's 50%. Beautiful. Kind of an interesting week because we're playing exactly what the playoff picture would be if it ended today. So let's go over the the standings real quick. We got Wade staying in first place at 5-1. Charlie at 4-2 moves up to second place with the tiebreakers. Tim also at 4-2 in third place. Ashley rounding out the 4-2s in fourth place. Then we have Andrew in fifth, Raleigh in sixth, Cameron in seventh. That's your 3-3s. John in eighth is the lone 2-4 team, and then myself and Trevor in that order, both with a single win. Trevor getting his first win of the week, beating his wife. So good for you, and don't take that clip out of context. A couple notes real quick on this video. You can probably still hear it. I'm still a little sick from I had COVID, so that's what was going on last week with my throat. So I am going to try to keep this video short, and to ensure that I actually wrote shit down instead of just rambling. And I took an edible like 10 minutes ago, so either this video ends within 30 minutes or it never ends at all, interestingly enough. So taking a quick look at the transactions this week, not a ton of, I mean, we were kind of where we're at with waiver pickups. I picked up Kamani Vidal just as kind of a flyer running back help. John grabbed Demario Douglas. Cameron looking for some quarterback help, grabbed Brock Purdy. A couple kickers, couple defenses. Evan Ingram made his return to the lineup this week, had a good game. Tim went ahead and snatched him up. Jacoby Myers went to Andrew. Josh Downs went back to Charlie. I say back, Charlie never had him. I went ahead and picked up Dalton Schultz, looking for some tight end help this week in case Hawkinson can't make his return. Cole Kmet's on a bye. And Charlie went ahead and snatched up Jerry Jeudy off of the news that Mari Cooper is no longer a Brown. He is a Bill. We also had some trades this week. So usually we had a lot. That was last week, the Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper one. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins and George Pickens went to Charlie for DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, and Rashad White. And then me and John swapped Darnell Mooney and Joe Burrow. So I made yet another trade with the person I played this week. So if you have Darnell Mooney in your other leagues or you want to bet on him, go ahead and bet on him. Fire him up. He's probably gonna go crazy this week. Yeah, so let's get to the wheel. Everybody's favorite segment, the wheel. My fucking Steam Deck's not working. It's annoying. Make sure I pull it off. I won last week. I was the highest scoring loser, so congratulations to me for losing again, but at least doing it well this time. So let's see what we got this week. Cover your ears. Oh, it actually wasn't that bad. Oh, I turned the volume down. That's why. Lowest scoring starter. Great. Really exciting. Sorry, one sec. Illusion on the chat. I don't know why I texted from my watch. My phone's literally right here. Yeah, lowest scoring starter. So I think, is that literally the last bad one? Largest margin of defeat is the last bad one. Everything else is good. Oh, highest scoring bench. We have a lot of bad ones. We need Raleigh. We need more positive ones next year. Anyway, John, take it away for the Andy Isabella minute, please.
Andy Isabella minute, Andy Isabella minute, Andy Isabella minute, Andy Isabella.
All right, so last week, obviously the big news, Andy Isabella went to the Battlehawks, which I thought would be more discussed. I'm kind of disappointed overall that one wasn't talked about. Whatever. He's going to be in St. Louis. This week we're talking about Joey Isabella. Andy's younger brother is currently a wide receiver at Duquesne. Joey is he made the academic honor roll in 2020, 2021, and 2022. So in 2023 and 2024, he's been fucking off. his stats for this year, he currently has at 21 receptions for 281 yards and 5 touchdowns, which is already eclipsing his total in 2023, where he had 18 receptions, 371 yards, and a single touchdown, which is by far his best year. His first 3 years, he didn't really do anything. He was also all district and all state at Mayfield High School. So there's Joey Isabella, and that is your Andy Isabella minutes. Really scraping the bottom of the my fucking Steam Deck doesn't work. Fix that later. I'm not going to. I'll forget. It'll piss me off next week. Yeah. So, damn, this video is gonna be short. Whatever. I need a break. I need to get my voice back up. So as always, we'll start with our first place team, which is Wade, and against Raleigh. I mentioned that and I think we've discussed it, but the matchups this week are just a perfect correlation to what they would be if the playoffs were starting today. So we have first place Wade against sixth place Raleigh, which would be, I guess it's not actually perfect because we have a 16 play, but whatever. This is what it would look like if we were you get it. It's 1v6, 2v5, 3v4, and the bottom half is 7v10 and 8v9. Whatever. It's beautiful. Wade has Patrick Mahomes back in his lineup, so he is going back to Mahomes off of the news that Russell Wilson might be getting the start over Justin Fields, which, by the way, I think is just one of the dumbest things I've ever seen an NFL team do. Whatever. I don't get paid to make those decisions, but I probably should. That's so dumb. So maybe it's a red herring. Maybe they're just going out on a flyer, and Justin Fields will be back in the starting lineup. Either way, Patrick Mahomes is back for Wade, and against the 49ers too. I do have some thoughts on that game that I won't get into, but very interesting game. Speaking of that game, Deebo's questionable. Was limited in practice, has a wrist injury. Honestly, a lot of what I'm seeing here is that they're just kind of limited just because he's having an extra workload with McCaffrey out. I think he's totally fine, but definitely something to keep an eye on, especially coming after a massive game against the Seahawks, which he always lights up the Seahawks. But when you're playing a team as tough as the Chiefs, you kind of go all hands on deck. So very interesting to keep an eye on, not only for this matchup, but for that game in general. We do have Kelsey versus Mahomes. Obviously, Kelsey on Riley's team. Being pretty much the only person left for Mahomes to throw footballs to. Juju Smith-Schuster, if you want to talk about him, Sky Moore, if you want to talk about him. That is pretty much Travis Kelsey, who, it took everybody dying for him to get back into putting up, tight end 1 level numbers, but here we are. He's now tight end 13 after starting the year with 10 total points in 3 weeks. So congratulations to Travis Kelsey. Yeah, obviously Bijan went to Wade's team last week. We all knew he was going to have a monstrous performance. I said a 30 bomb, ended up with 24. And honestly, you kind of can't do this with fantasy because you could do it with everybody, but you got 2 cheap touchdowns in the red zone, which is the Panthers. But I was just salty that they finally gave him the ball in the red zone. Tyler Algier also scored and also he didn't outsnap him, but he did outtouch him. Tyler Algier had 19 touches. Bijan had 18, just for those keeping score at home. So kind of interesting to see if he can continue this run. Seattle, a little bit of a weaker defense against the run, but also they're just extremely hurt everywhere. So we'll see if it's a Kirk Cousins game again. I think they're probably going to lean pretty heavily on the run game. So we'll see. Algier, Bijan, probably somewhere in the 8 to 12 point range. But what I really wrote down was, is this the turn to be his elite season? And since I traded him, it probably is. Yeah, Mike Evans versus Chris Godwin. Matchup of the century right here. Both obviously playing the same defense because they play for the same team. Baltimore 30th against the pass. That's one of those stats that they got lit up by Joe Burrow. They kind of got lit up by Gardner Minshew in a weird way. They gave up a lot of cheap yardage and points to Dak in that Cowboys game. So I don't know if I don't think their secondary is actually as bad as it is. But when you are going up against a really good offense in the Bucks, I mean, even average, that's something really exciting. Obviously, we just had a Chris Godwin game with 30 points. So kind of leaning towards this being more of a Mike Evans game. But I mean, obviously, they both have tremendous upside there. The winner I wrote down Raleigh just off of matchups. Joe Mixon getting the Packers, Baker Mayfield, with the stack there with Evans playing the Ravens. Is a juicy. His worst matchup is Debo against the Chiefs. But we'll see if he even plays. If he doesn't play, Wandale against the Eagles, Zay Flowers against the Bucks could be fun. Oh, that game's on Monday night too. That's gonna be a blast, dude. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna predict Raleigh here. To hand Wade his first loss in 3 weeks. Good little run, Wade. Proud of you, bud. Yeah, Raleigh. Next we have Charlie versus Andrew. I'm already running out of breath. Dude, COVID's for real, dude. Crazy. Yeah, Jaden Daniels versus Carolina is just a dream matchup. I mean, that's just damn gorgeous. Yeah, I guess I would get my penis hard if I had him. Yeah, we talked about Charlie with the trade, adding J.K. Dobbins, which I do love J.K. Dobbins. I think that's a great addition to Charlie's team. I don't love George Pickens as much, but that's kind of Charlie's boy. That's kind of how he rolls. So I don't have like a huge problem with it, but it's not my favorite. Yeah, but J.K. Dobbins against the Cardinals is going to be awesome. They're so happy for you to have him and Hunter and Derrick Henry. Almost said Hunter Henry. Could you imagine? Will George Pickens be good with Russell Wilson? I want to say no. I want to say he'll probably be better than he was with Justin Fields. Maybe. But I don't even know that that's true. George Pickens hasn't scored a touchdown this year. Interesting. What a week for him to get his first one, right? And obviously for Charlie too, the bigger story is we have Devontae Adams is back in the lineup. Magically his hamstring is healed now that he is a New York Jet. And he gets to play against George Pickens on Sunday Night Football. So that'll be fun-ish. For Charlie, it's gonna be dog shit for Andrew. I think to have to watch two receivers go against him on Monday night. Although it worked out well for Wade last week. I guess it helps being up 60 points by the time the game kicks off. So maybe Andrew can do that. Is Deontay Johnson hurt? That's a big question. People are asking in the streets. Next Gen Stats is in my way to actually read this report, but I did notice that earlier. Apparently he's just been having an ankle injury, nagging. Maybe he re-injured it. He got Wednesday off. It's probably just a vet with a nagging injury, sitting down. So he's probably gonna play, and he gets Washington, which is a great matchup there. Sneaky Panthers Commanders game might be a little bit good. Andy Dalton, Red Rocket out there slinging that thing against a bad secondary. Because every time I said that about a Commanders game, it stunk, which was really just that one time against the Cardinals that they sucked. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Oh, I didn't. Yeah, this is the CeeDee Lamb bye week, so this is the week you got to deal with that. I did pick Andrew. I wrote down Andrew. I didn't realize his running backs were playing Denver and Minnesota. So I think I just saw Jaden Daniels against Carolina and was like, okay, yeah, it's probably over. Yeah, I think I still like Charlie. I don't like the George Pickens play. But like the rest of it's fine. Oh, you're starting Jerry Jeudy this week? Hold on. Okay. Yeah, Andrew, I'm gonna stick with my gut there. I mean, look, I don't question Charlie's methods at this point. Like, he's probably gonna put up 150 points and just laugh right in my fucking face. But starting Jerry Jeudy is tough. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Andrew as my official pick. So, which by the way, I made that spreadsheet the other day. Just have not been keeping up with it. I mean, at least these I have written down, but that's something that I will very easily forget to track and manage. Tim versus Ashley. All I have written down for Ashley is running back graveyard. That's not true. I have a couple other things written down for her, but that was the first thing. Aaron Jones is dead. Jonathan Taylor is dead. Didn't practice Wednesday. Aaron Jones, his nagging hamstring. Jonathan Taylor's already missed 2 games in a row and did not practice Wednesday. I think I saw, was it Aaron Jones maybe that they said that? One of them, maybe it was Brian Robinson. I don't know. One of them was like, he's maybe going to come back on Thursday. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Jonathan Taylor. Brian Robinson did practice today, limited, but he did practice, so that's good. And you love that matchup against Carolina, obviously. Aaron Jones, they still have points projected, so I guess that's good. And they still have their usual amount of points projected. So, I mean, you would hope. Tim's kicker curse. Yeah, his kicker's hurt again. That's crazy. That just keeps happening 2 weeks in a row. So, I don't know. Maybe pick up Harrison Butker, dude. Get that fucker out of here. So whoever's got Harrison Butker, go ahead and send him to Tim, and let's get that ACL gone. Neighbors is apparently maybe going to be back from the worst concussion of all time. I mean, that was crazy that he just kept missing games and kept missing practice. He was limited at practice on Wednesday. What the fuck happened to that dude's head? Did he get a nail in his head? I think there's shrapnel in there. I mean, that shit's crazy. Oh, I thought he benched Tyreek Hill. Okay, yeah, Tyreek Hill against the Colts. I mean, I don't care who's throwing to him. Like, come on, smash the star button. Yeah, that's really all I wrote down here. Oh, B-Rob. Yeah, I wrote limited juicy ass matchup and juicy ass. I don't know if you've ever looked at him from behind. Caked. I am gonna go with Trevor here. I think the injuries and the bye weeks are just gonna be too much. Honestly, I used to have Josh Jacobs hanging out down there. That's it though. You got 3 injured running backs, so I mean maybe Pittman comes back and you can slot him in there. I think I think Ashley will have no problem like hobbling together a lineup. It's just not going to be ideal by any stretch. And Saquon is back against the Giants, so that's hot. I wrote down Tim, and I'm gonna stick with that. I didn't really look at Ashley's bench situation. It's a lot better than I initially thought. So I'm not as down on Ashley as I was when I initially looked at this. But I don't want to have to edit my picks. So I'm still gonna go with Tim. I do still think I like that the matchup situation, and obviously you're starting most of your actual players, so that helps. Or hurts, depending on who you are. Okay, we got the first of the consolation bracket here. Cam versus Trevor. Dude, this shit goes by so much faster when I write things down instead of just rambling about every single player, which I do think is more fun, and I think you enjoy it more. But yeah, I don't have the voice or the lung capacity to do that for an hour today. Number one thing I wrote down, and it's because I had to write it down and I underlined it twice because I will forget. Obviously it's Cam. We're gonna talk about the Texans. That's pretty much all we have to talk about. Oh, which Joe Mixon's gone, so I guess it's less of a problem at this point. It's really just CJ and Stephon. Texas, the Houston versus Green Bay is not going to be a shootout. It might be. I think if you put a gun to my head, I would bet the over, just because I couldn't for the life of me bet the under in a CJ Stroud versus Jordan Love game. But these defenses are not bad. Like this is too. Yeah, Green Bay is number 8 against opposing quarterbacks. Wide receivers, I imagine it's 17, whatever. Doesn't make sense, but it is what it is. I guess they just don't allow quarterback rushing production. It's dumb. Whatever. I do think it's gonna be a great game. It's maybe the game I'm most excited for this week. It sucks that it's at 1 p.m. Probably should have got that one in prime time, but what are you gonna do? Thank God we can watch Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers play against each other. But yeah, that game's not going to be a shootout like I think we all want it to be. Hopefully I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong on that one. I want that game to be 42-35, but the defenses are really, really solid there. All that to say, I don't think Cam's in for like the just bouquet of points that we may all look at that on the outside and say that he is. Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is back. Apparently he fully practiced today. No limitations. Yeah, he's gonna start against the Bengals on Sunday. Now, what capacity that he's gonna actually be in, that's still up for debate. We'll have to wait and see. But Trevor really doesn't have any other options. I mean, you could start ETN. Which is probably not a good idea, and he's questionable and he sucks. And DeAndre Swift, who is your other option at running back, is on a bye, and Isaiah Pacheco is still on IR. So you don't really have a choice. I mean, this is what you drafted him for. This is what the moment you've been waiting on. It'll just be really interesting to see if it's too soon. And then we, on the other side, we get Cameron with the debut of Amari Cooper on the Bills. It's gonna be so sexy, so sexy. The Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith stack against the Giants is also very, very exciting. I don't know, the Giants defense, they're number 50. I literally was about to say the Giants defense doesn't feel that bad. Like they feel middle of the pack, and they were 15th against wide receivers, 20th against quarterbacks. But so I wrote down Cam as the winner here. I think like Nick Chubb is fine. He's monster. He's built different. He'll probably have a fine game. I just don't think he's not getting like 25 carries like he would in a normal year. So I'm gonna go with Cam here on the V. And that leaves us with none other than myself and John. Obviously we had the Joe Burrow Darnell Mooney trade just go down. Both of those players currently in our starting lineups. Joe Burrow against Cleveland. With Kyler Murray playing the Chargers, I think he's probably going to stay there. Chargers, good defense, very good. Cardinals, maybe ass. Actually, definitively ass. I just don't know if Kyler Murray's ass. Cardinals are definitely ass. And then on the other side, you got Mooney playing the Seahawks. Still dealing with some defensive injuries. They've been better against the pass and the run. But I mean, we watched that 49ers game, last week, and it didn't fucking matter. They were still throwing the ball all over the place. I think Kirk could light them up. Not a big deal. And it's noon Kirk, 1 p.m. Kirk. I forget what's his name. Whatever. Don't care. I didn't write this down, but James Cook, did he practice today? Oh, they did a walkthrough and he was limited. I mean, he's practicing at least again. I think I said this. I would almost rather them just keep him out another week so that I could just fully rely on Ray Davis to have another big game. But we'll see how that goes. Debo is questionable. Jawan Jennings missed practice today with a hip injury. Christian McCaffrey's still out. So it's Brandon Ayuk season. Hopefully. Please, God. Just one time. I picked, I got Jordan Addison got dropped this week. I went ahead and snatched him up. So having Addison versus Jettas and a Detroit Lions Minnesota game that I do think will be a shootout. I do think the Lions offense is good enough to overcome the Minnesota defense. And obviously the Minnesota offense has been one of the better ones in the league this year. And Detroit's still just giving up chunk plays to wide receivers. So that should be a lot of fun. Josh Allen has a new toy in Amari Cooper, which I talked about earlier. Tennessee is a sneaky, decent defense. I think they're better against the run, but number 12 against opposing quarterbacks. So not exactly a walk in the park, because they will be running in Orchard Park. Yeah, I mean, if I was truly unbiased here, I probably would pick John, but I'm not, so I'm gonna pick myself to win it, obviously, because I always do. You know how this goes at this point. Is this the only game where both teams are projected over 100 points? No. Charlie and Andrew. and Wade and Raleigh. Okay, never mind. Very, very wrong. I was honestly just shocked to see us both over 100 because I feel like the last two people I looked at was like 97 and 95. Anyway, those are your matchups this week. Sorry about the short video, but also I'm sick, so fuck you. Good luck. Love you. Bye.